Hi, and welcome to Missed It by How Much. This is the channel that tests sports hypotheses using computer game engines. Our current task is to try to win the National League West as the manager of the Dodgers in the 1990 season by not playing Alfredo Griffin as shortstop. At the outset, we started Mike Sharperson, and now we're using Jose Vizcaino as our main shortstop. Wanted to catch you up. We've played 70 games, and we just recently retook the lead in the National League West. We had been down by about 4 games and are currently in an 11-game winning streak. And we're also currently on a 6-game road trip. We're just past the midpoint of that. And I want to go over the streak and show you how we've reclaimed first place. But first, a couple notices. Lenny Dykstra's had a cold streak lately. He had been at around or above 400 the entire season. He's now dropped to 384, which is still incredible and leads all of baseball in hitting. But we're going to take a look at what's happened recently that has lowered his number down to 384. He previously had a 30-game hitting streak during the season. And there you see some 0 for 4s, and 0 for 2 there, and 0 for 5 against the Mets. So, and then a 0 for 3 on the 26th. Previous to that, he'd only had 1 game without a hit in a long stretch of time. So he still has a chance. He's still well above Tony Gwynn, who is now in second place after he's come back from the injured list, who has leapfrogged Eddie Murray, who's fallen to 346. All of these are great numbers. Dave Maganin, who I referenced in the first video of this series, you can go back and watch that, still hitting at a robust 344 average. Mark Grace, all the usual suspects here. Andre Dawson hitting 320, and he has 17 home runs. He has surpassed Kevin Mitchell now as an MVP candidate, the top MVP candidate. Drabek and Roger Craig still is manager of the year, even though we are in first place over his team. I think that has to do with expected win versus real win. And I also like to point out, even though this team that I manage does not focus on fielding, we're third in the National League. The last time I saw us in the third place, the next game against, I believe it was the Phillies on May 18th, we had 5 errors. We won the game, but we dropped back down after that. And we're currently tied, even though it's second place, with the Giants for the top spot in batting average in the National League. So, you've probably watched some of the games, but I don't post every single game video on here. So let's see, how did we pull off this 11-game winning streak currently and vault back into first place? One of the games that is on the channel that you could go back and see is the last game of the previous road trip against Houston, where the Dodgers won 3-1. There was a pivotal play late in the game where I was tempted to pull Ramon Martinez. He had, I believe, second and third in the 7th inning, either the 7th or the 8th. I believe it was the 7th. We'll see here in a second. And go to the bullpen, and I chose not to. It stuck with him even though there was second and third and nobody out. And he pitched out of it. Yeah, it was the 7th. Caminiti grounded a single up the middle. Oberfeld doubled. They held Caminiti at third. I was tempted to take him out. I did not. He struck out Glenn Wilson. struck out Young, and then Anthony flied out, and he got out of the jam, and the Dodgers won, and that's the first game of the current 11-game hitting streak. Go back and watch that video if you want to. After that, we've won every game since. San Diego, we swept. I'll go through that quickly. 6-1. That was a close game, I believe, and then Eddie Murray hit a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th to give us some breathing room. Belcher had pitched well. He does usually at home. Hartley comes in, and Hartley was supposed to finish the game, but when the lead was extended to 6-1, Holmes came in and pitched the 9th. The next game was again at home against the Padres, and the Dodgers won 8-6. That game, we got off to an 8-3 lead, and then in a pivotal 5th, I made a decision to pull Neidlinger, who had already given up 4 earned runs. That was his last start for us. He went back to the reserve squad. And I didn't do a great job of relief. Walsh came in. I believe he blocked somebody who eventually scored. Howell came in. Top of the 5th. Let's see. There's Bib Roberts with a single. 1 out on Alomar. 2 outs with Cora. And then Gerald Clark came up. I believe it was Gerald Clark. We walked him because he had good numbers. And then Jack Clark came up pinch hitting. And that really scared me. So we walked him as well. We walked the bases loaded with 2 outs. And then we brought in Howell to face Pagliarulo because these are reverse splits. And he walks in a run. And then Joe Carter, he was previously 0 for 5 with the bases loaded. Of course, he gets a base hit up the middle, 2-run score. But from there, the Dodgers pitching finishes up. Cruz pitches 2 2/3 very well, and Steerage comes in to get the last out, even though he did give up a hit. And it was scary in the 9th. The tying runs were on. The winning run was at the plate. In terms of batting, there you see the numbers, the middle of the lineup. And that's how this team is arranged. The top hitters, probably the guys with the most power at the top. And then the singles hitters are in the middle, and they have to knock in the power hitters. So that was our 3rd win in a row. And then in the finale against San Diego, the Dodgers won 10-7. That was another game where we got out to a gigantic lead. 10-2, and then had to hold on down the stretch. Mike Morgan, I just kept pitching him, trying to let him save the bullpen, and I ended up getting myself into a pickle again. I tried to have Mike Munoz, who I had brought up from the reserve squad. He did not pitch well. He went back down after this game. And we had to have Hartley come and bail us out and get the last out, which I did not want to. I wanted to stay away from Hartley in this game, especially up 10-2. It's strange. The offense plays really well and then disappears the rest of the game. Some 3 hits for Eddie Murray, 2 hits for Scioscia. Again, 10 runs with no home runs. You don't usually see that on a team. So that runs the winning streak up to 4. Then Houston comes to town. Ramon Martinez, I believe he threw a shutout. I think he's pitched 3 consecutive games he's pitched 9 innings each. That doesn't mean they've all been shutouts. They've all been well-pitched games, though, and I believe wins for Ramon. This one, again, some timely hitting down at the bottom of the lineup. Ramon goes 9 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 9 Ks. I mean, that's probably going to win you most games. The other guy has to throw a shutout. And Gullikson pitched well, but not well enough. So that makes the streak 5. The next game was a tight 3-2 win against Houston again. This was a game again where we took a 3-1 lead and had to hold on. Try it again. Orel Hershiser makes his first start, taking the spot from Neidlinger, and doesn't pitch great. But one of the things we've decided to try is instead of having Hartley start games, he's going to be able to relieve multiple games and let these other guys, Hershiser and Valenzuela, start the game, so you at least get some use out of them, and then pull them quick. As soon as they get into trouble, boom, you're gone. Hershiser, only 3 1/3, gave up 5 hits, but only 1 run. And Cruz came in and pitched 4 2/3 innings and only gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run and 4 Ks. He ended up getting the win. Searage and Holmes finished it off. And they won a close one. See on the recap here. Tie game. Juan Samuel with the 2-run home run to give us the lead. And then Oberkfell hit a home run off of Cruz. And that was it. So Cruz ended up almost pitching enough innings to qualify for the win like a starter would. Cruz has been used a lot and has not been the type of pitcher I thought he would be. But he does have high peaks and low valleys, so you just have to take the good and the bad. But overall, he's a help, especially with the starting pitching that we have on this team. The last game of the series against Houston, scored 8 runs, again taking an early lead, 6-2, and then holding on. This game I remember for this reason. It was 6-4 in the 8th, and there were 2 outs. And it looked like Hartley was going to have to hold on. He had pitched a long time. And he was going to have to hold on to the lead, a close lead in the 9th against Houston. In the bottom of the 8th, Samuel flied to center. Gwynn grounded to the pitcher. That's another thing that I haven't mentioned is in this series, Kirk Gibson was injured, and Chris Gwynn has been called up from the reserve squad to take his spot against right-handers. So the inning looked like it was dead, and Hartley was up, and I pondered hitting for him, but I always like to have the option of taking out the pitcher when I want to, kind of an American League type of managing. So I just said, I'm going to let him hit, and he somehow got a single, which gave the order a chance to flip to the top, which is, again, why I like my 2 best hitters at the top. And Eddie Murray hit a 2-run homer that gave enough breathing room that I just left him in to finish the game. Mike Scott did pitch well. He got hurt by a really bad error in this game by Rafael Ramirez, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that hurt them a lot. Belcher, not great numbers, 4 earned runs. Hartley comes in and finishes it. We like using Hartley as kind of like a piggyback situation. If I can get any kind of length out of the starters, he can come in and hopefully go the rest of the way. Here he throws 63 pitches out of a possible 75. So that ended the series and the homestand 6-0, and then the one win on the last game of the road trip made it 7 in a row. Let's see if I can locate where Kirk Gibson was injured. And he's out until July 2nd. So we're probably right about in the middle of that injury. It's been strange. Samuel is playing here. He's taking over at center field against lefty, so it wasn't this game. Let's see if it was the first game of the series. I've noticed how in this game, when your player gets injured and you're anticipating him coming back and finally getting the regular crew together, because almost all of our injuries have been starters. There it is. This is where he got hurt. Let's see if we can find where he got hurt. He had 2 at-bats. So not in the 4th. As soon as somebody comes back from an injury, it seems like there it is, bottom of the 6th. Gibson will get the inning started, drew a base on balls. Harris is on deck. Grounds a base hit. As soon as he passes, he's hurt. So, and he's gone until from June 18th to July 2nd. Okay, now let me see if I can get my whole thought out. It seems we've lost mostly starters in the injury department. If I can remember, we'll go over that before we start the game. As soon as one of the starters comes back, somebody else gets hurt. This was the day, I believe, the 18th, that Sharperson came back from his injury. And so we finally had the crew the way I wanted it. I could play the players the way that I wanted, the starters, and then I lose another starter for an extended stretch. So almost 2 weeks exactly. So, and I can't anticipate that. If you did an as played season, you'd know where the injuries were going to happen, when players are going to be sent up and down. It's easy to find that information out. I can't prepare for that. So I have to be thinking about that all the time. If so-and-so gets hurt, who's coming up to replace them? Because you never know when they're going to get hurt. You do have a cap. I did put a cap 2 weeks as the maximum because I do want to see these great players play. But I'd like a stretch like San Francisco had with no injuries. Again, not complaining. Other teams have had it worse. See the Oakland A's. Okay, so we finished the homestand. 7 in a row. We go for 8 against Cincinnati. And this is a game that I did not anticipate winning, I thought. First of all, the Reds are supposedly the main competition in the West, even though they haven't played like it. But I thought Cincinnati held us to a draw in LA. It was 2-2 in that series. We're going to Cincinnati. They'll have the upper hand. And they had Jose Rijo pitching for them. So I thought, this is going to be a very difficult game. But we had been shut out previously. Well, he pitched 7 innings, and he gave up 0 runs the last time. And then the bullpen came in and finished us off, and we didn't score. We lost 2-0 in that game. So I didn't have high hopes. Mike Morgan got the start, and he started terribly. He gave up 4 runs in the first inning. There, you see him? Even though I believe Eddie Murray hit a home run to start this game. And we were down 4-1, 5-2. And then we're getting to the 7th, and I'm thinking, this is it. And for some reason, they pull him. I don't know why. He still had pitches in the bank. I guess they figured we can go to the bullpen starting with Rob Dibble and finish the Dodgers off like they did before. That didn't happen in this game. Dodgers rallied. and in the typical way that they do. Everybody seemed to have a part in it. So we'll start with Dibble. And this is where I was, after the bad 4 runs, some people would have pulled their starting pitcher like Morgan. And I said, nope, I'm not ruining my bullpen. This is the beginning of a road trip. I need the bullpen. So Morgan, you're just going to have to stay out there. And he got better. You know, he pitched to the 6th. So the next 5 innings, he only gave up 1 run. But that was the end of the road. So I said, okay, I got to try. And Fernando's ready to hit. And he hits righties pretty well. So I said, okay, I don't think Fernando's going to pitch in this game. But, I mean, possible. At that time, I didn't have him securely in the starting rotation. But since then, I have. And I let him hit. And, of course, he gets a single. And then Murray strikes out. So it makes 0 sense. You think, well, okay, that's the end of the rally. Daniels walks. Scioscia singles. So now you have the bases loaded. Okay? So Javier comes up next, and he grounds out. So you still get Valenzuela to score. I took the percentage chance, and it made it 5-3. I said, okay, well, we got to run. That's probably the end. There's 2 outs. Next up, Lenny Harris doubles to left center. Daniel scores, and Javier scores, and we've got a brand new ball game. 5-5. Now that ends the Sharperson singles. So now you have first and third, but Vizcaino grounds out. So it's tie game. So I said, okay, listen, I was going to maybe let Fernando pitch here, but we're tied. I got it. One of the things as I go through the game as manager, I think, well, I got to give the guys a chance to win this game now. I thought this was a L. I was going to just work with the worst pitchers that I have in the bullpen, let them get some action. Now I got to go for it. Okay, so I bring in Gott. He strikes out Barry Larkin. Then I bring in Walsh against Morris because he can't hit lefties, and of course he walks. So then we go, I can't leave him in against Duncan. Duncan hits lefties. That's pretty much what he does. So I have to go back to Holmes, who's good against righties, and I get the strike him out, throw him out, double play as Morris tries to steal, and Duncan strikes out. So I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now can we score a run? So we're already at the bottom of the lineup again as we start the 8th. Gwynn walks, and Belcher, I bring in Belcher just to bunt because he's one of the few guys I got that has a 10 bunt. And I figure he's not going to pitch. So I'm going to try to use him just like I used Fernando for his batting expertise. He can hit. He gets a single. Belcher comes in and bunts. And he's safe on the play. Not only does he get Gwynn to second, which is hard for some of my position players to sacrifice somebody over when I need them to. Just thinking 1 run here. 1 run. And maybe we can hold on. So they're both safe. Gwynn moves into scoring position. Of course, Eddie Murray up next flies out. Daniels walks yet again. So now you have, again, the bases loaded. Okay, and there's a balk. Gwynn scores. Belcher now to third. Daniels to second, and we've taken the lead. So I go in and I take Belcher out. Now he's at third. And I'm thinking there's only 1 out. He can tag up and score on a fly ball. So I take and put Gonzalez in Belcher's spot just to have some speed in case there's a fly ball to the left. Maybe he can tag up and score, and then we get an insurance run. Well, Mike Scioscia does better than that. He gets a double that scored both runners, now up 8-5. Javier comes up next and hits a single, and Leona, who's pitching now for Cincinnati, is just busted. The game's pretty much over. I take out Scioscia, who just doubled and couldn't score on the single by Javier, and I put Samuel in his spot as a pinch runner, which is where I really like Samuel, especially against right-handers coming off the bench. Again, in another sacrifice fly situation, it works, as Harris hits a deep fly ball and Samuel tags and scores. The hit parade's not over, though. Sharperson gets a single. Vizcaino lines a single, and that scores Javier. 10-5. From there, I let Cruz pitch. I'm not really that worried up this long. And I believe Cruz finishes it. Yeah, 2 innings, 3 hits. Not great pitching. Good enough though. He doesn't give up any runs. He could have given up a couple, and he had minus stuff. So God had minus stuff. Mike Morgan had minus stuff. Just one minus, and we still won 10-5. That's how we win games with this team. You have to be able to hit. So that's our positive part of our team. Defense and pitching's not as good. So that's 8 in a row. Next up, Ramon Martinez comes out to pitch, and he pitches a gem against a very good Cincinnati team. Dodgers come up with some hits against Norm Charlton, who was kind of wild. Pitches okay, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, but 4 walks. Dibble comes in again and gets pounded. Ramon had some shaky moments. I thought about pulling him, and I left him in and let him pitch, and he came through. Eddie Murray with a double. Stan Javier grounds out. I mean, just making that contact, not striking out, is one of the reasons I like Javier over Hubie Brooks. 5-0 lead with Ramon pitching. You feel like you're good. Yeah, outstanding, complete game, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 0 walks, 7 Ks. So he's given us what we expected from it at the beginning of the season. 10 hits in all. Again, 0 home runs, 6 runs. And we played around with the outfield again, moving. We like to move Gonzalez into center field for defense. Lenny Harris, 2 for 3 against a lefty and a walk. I mean, these guys are producing. On the road, it seems like we hit much better. The final game against Cincinnati, we faced Tom Browning. And again, got a good pitching performance. I believe this time, let's see what we had pitching. Cruz again pitches again. Again, Cruz gets a lot of usage. Hershiser comes back up. Goes 3 2/3. Starts to get in trouble. I believe he had 2 runners on in the 4th. And we just went straight to Cruz, and we used Cruz until he started to get in trouble, and then we went to Hartley, and he finished. He went the rest of the way. And he didn't give up a run into the bottom of the 8th. And these guys in a combination here, Cruz and Hartley, we get something out of the starter, and then Cruz and Hartley tries to, because again, I always think I'm never winning against, except for Ramon Martinez, I'm never winning the competition of starting pitchers. Whoever you've got, maybe in this game, Browning's not good either, but rarely, other than Ramon Martinez, in the matchup of starting pitchers, does anybody say, yeah, I want the Dodgers starter? This is not one of Hershiser's better years. He gets injured in real life. And I mean, his ERA is 4 over 4. So, but he does well enough. You got to hook him at the right time. Same thing with Cruz. I mean, this totals to 9 hits. The Reds got 9 hits, but only 1 run. They out hit us. We only had 8. But the question is, where do you get the hits? You know, Cal Daniels hits a home run to start the game. Again, Mike Scioscia hits a big double. He's one of the clutch hitters on this team. Eddie Murray's a fly ball. I mean, you gotta make the plays when they're available. So, end up sweeping the last 3 series. That's 9. Houston at the beginning is 10. So we take on the Braves in the last game, and they swept us in LA the last time we met. So again, we lose the starting pitching matchup. It's Tom Glavine versus Fernando Valenzuela. And Glavine pitches awesome. Deserved a win, definitely. 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run. 4 walks is a little high for him. 4 Ks. He was wild at the beginning of his career. Joe Hesketh comes in and pitches 3 great innings. We go into extra innings. He has plus stuff. And somehow we still win this game because the 1 earned run that Glavine gave up was a home run by Hubie Brooks. And Fernando matches him. 5 innings, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. And that's more than I can ever ask out of Fernando. That's great. Got to know when to hook him though. The plan was to go Valenzuela as far as I could, which sometimes I think it's like going to be 1 inning maybe. You should have seen the OPSs on every single batter that Atlanta brought up. Gigantic. At some point, I just had to block it out and not even look at it because I thought every single guy's going to hit a home run off of them. They only get 1 run. John Wetland was the plan to come in after that and finish the game. Just let him burn his arm out. But again, like I said, you get to a certain point in the game and you say, hey, in the top of the 6th here, we tied this up. I owe it to the team. I owe it to these guys that are fighting that hard to put in, the best pitchers that I can, even if we lose this game. Because that's what stinks, is when you use your best relievers and you end up losing the game anyhow, and then you don't have them for the next game. So I said, okay, I'm committing to this. It's not because of the streak. It's because we actually have a chance here in this final third of the game. And Wetland pitches well. Walsh comes in and does his job. And then we go to Hartley. This is the big one right here. You don't want to use Hartley unless you know you got a chance to win this game. Or you're ahead, or you're tied. And I said, okay, Mike, here's the ball. You're going to go until maybe past 65 pitches, 75 pitches. And he goes to 51. He gets 3 Ks, gives up 1 hit in 4 innings. And the Dodgers come through. It's Mike Hartley on base, and Mike Sharperson gets I believe, a 2-out hit in the 11th to get the lead, and Hartley finishes it up. Wouldn't have trusted anybody else other than him. Let's see how that 11th inning went. Dempsey strikes out. Hartley gets a base hit. Daniels gets a base hit, so it's first and second. Vizcaíno strikes out, so it's 2 on, 2 out. And Sharperson with a 0-2 count lines a base hit. And I was sending Hartley no matter what, but I didn't have to do a percentage chance. He gets it. We go to the bottom of the 11th. Blauser flies out. Then you got to face Gant and Justice. And Hartley's been in for a while, but I said, all right. I trust Mike Hartley. He hadn't passed the expected pitch count. Either of these guys can hit a home run and tie the game. But Gant grounds out, which is, again, you worry about the defense there. And then Justice grounds to Sharperson at second, and that's it. Dodgers win 2-1. That's 11 in a row. And when I first started playing this game as a practice before I started the season, I played as the Dodgers against an as-played lineup, and I whipped those teams. And I think we won 10 in a row. I think that if you look on the channel, there's a Dodgers-Astros random game. That was when we were going for our 11th win, and Mike Scott beat us at home, I believe. So this is the most wins in a row. And that, again, was at the beginning of the season. And facing as played, I don't think it's fair because you know so much information about the other team. The other team cannot adjust whether or not they overused the bullpen the game before. And that's one of the things we do here. We let the computer control that stuff because hopefully the computer's smart enough to go, so-and-so threw too many pitches the game before. We're not going to use him in this next game. And that goes for starters, too. Sometimes starters get used in relief. if you go a long inning game. So I don't feel like that 10 in a row that I won previously was fair because the computer wasn't really allowed to change the lineups. I mean, again, you got guys that are hitting well, you move them up in the lineup. Guys that are hitting poorly for a while, move them down. You don't just leave guys static all the time. I forced Eddie Murray at the top of our lineup against lefties for a long time, and then I finally said, look at the numbers say he's not as good against lefties. We're going to drop him down. We're not putting him on the bench, but we're not going to have him at the top. And when you play as played, who knows why some of the old time managers assembled lineups the way they did. Again, I don't agree with that whole idea of got to have somebody who can run at the top of the lineup, and then the second spot you got to have somebody who can move them over. I'm not playing for one run at a time. Sometimes I have to, but that's in a tight, close end of the game situation, I feel like. All right, so we're going for 12 in a row. Again, Belcher's pitching. I'm not good on the road against John Smoltz, who's been great. 3.51 ERA. It's really good for a young pitcher. We're going to play this game and see if we can get 12 in a row. I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier or not. I've been talking so long randomly. I think I did, but in case I didn't, we mentioned Andre Dawson. I want to give him some props because earlier in the season, at the very beginning, we had Cal Daniels in the spot. And then at some point over a month ago, Kevin Mitchell moved in and had it for a long time. And now, just in the past week, Andre Dawson has taken over. He had taken it over once before, but it was only for like a game or two and he's gone. So we'll keep an eye on that. Andre is having a great season. He'll definitely make the All-Star team like he really did in real life, which is coming up soon. We'll have that on the channel. Looking forward to making the teams and playing the game. But the Cubs are in 5th place right now. So I know Andre did win an MVP, and the Cubs as a last place team. We'll see if history repeats itself. Also wanted to mention Toronto and Boston are currently in a series where Boston has, I believe, won the first 2 games of the series. I don't know if that series is over yet. But they've closed to within half a game. Cleveland's back to 2 games. Baltimore, who's been really good. Fun to watch some of their games. Detroit 4.5 back. I mean, all these teams are still in it, I feel like. Oakland, again, we talked about, reclaimed first place a little later than I expected. Minnesota only a half game back. Seattle 2.5 back. Kansas City 3.5. I mean, everybody here is still in play. Oakland has the lead. Oakland is the team that's the favorite. But everybody's really in play here. And the Dodgers and the Frisco Giants are locked in a tight duel here. If we lose this game, lead will only go down to half a game. Houston's still in it. Cincinnati, can't believe they're 2 games under 500. Okay, but we have to take on the Braves today. So let's play this game. The plan is to go with Belcher as long as we can, but be ready to hook him in a moment's notice. He does give up a lot of home runs. We'll take a look at the pitching staff, see if anybody has come shaken loose from the expected pitch count. But I'm assuming he will be the starter. There's our 11-game winning streak. Notice Ellis Burks still MVP leader in the American League. A good pitching performance by Alan Anderson. Wade Boggs with 3 hits. Kirk McCaskill with a shutout. Wow. Okay. This is the final games of June 26th. Let's see if we can see a 12-game winning streak come up on the highlights next time. There we go. Everything looks correct. At Fulton County Stadium, we're ready to play. There you see Kirk Gibson's injury till July 2nd. He's disappearing, and we're taking on a right-hander. So we will go to the OPS versus right-hander section, and Eddie Murray will lead off and play first base. Cal Daniels will got second and play left field. Mike Scioscia is back from his 1 day off to catch. Lenny Harris bats fourth, who's been hot lately. He's moved up to fourth. Mike Sharperson will play second base. Stan Javier will go into center field. Rick Dempsey will not play. Jose Vizcaino will play short. That's seventh. And Chris Gwynn will play right field and bat eighth. Making sure everything's copacetic. And let's see who's not available. Fernando's not available. Walsh is one of my two lefties. He's out. Hartley is out. Of course, he's pitched over 50 the last 2 games. Orel is out. Ramon is out. Okay, so who has some pitches? Mike Morgan is available, and Tim Belcher is available. I don't believe either one of them is very good on the road. Well, Mike Morgan is better. And Tim Belcher is worse by a lot. And I'd like to skip him, but I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think Ramon's going to be back for this series. I don't think he'll be back for the next game. So it doesn't really matter who's going to pitch here. I'd probably rather go with Belcher. I don't think we're going to win this game, and Mike Morgan can pitch the next game. Although I also don't think it's fair. Mike Morgan threw 96 pitches 4 days ago. So that's him on 3 days rest. I don't know why he's available. Maybe because he has this much expected pitch count, he didn't throw it. I don't know. But I think it's fair to go with Belcher. Okay, now, as a plan, Wetland's available, Cruz is available, and then you got the little guys, Searage, Holmes, Howell, Gott, Gilliard. So, I guess the plan is Belcher until he seems to get into trouble. Cruz is available, and so is Wetland. Cruz more of the, if he gets roughed up very early, he's coming in. Wetland more of the, if he gets through 5 and we need a bridge, he's available. It'll probably depend on matchup. Wetland pitching great, 2.84 ERA. All right, let's get to the game. So we'll see. I expect home runs in mass. That's one thing Belcher is not good at. And if we get to a point where it's these guys, Justice and Gant, coming up, that's probably going to be the end for Belcher. But we'll give him 4 or 5 runs. All right, Eddie Murray starts us off. We're going to need some runs against Smoltz, and it won't be easy. Eddie starts it off with a fly ball to right. That's 1 out for Daniels. Cal also hits 1 to right. Justice playing right field instead of first base. Makes the catch. That'll bring up Scioscia with 2 outs. And he rips 1 to right. Is that out? That's out of here. That's his 10th home run, I believe. Wow, Mike Scioscia showing off the power. And the Dodgers take an early 1-0 lead. That is his 10th home run, 338 feet. All right, we don't play for the 1 run, but sometimes we'll take it. Here's Harris. He has a fly ball to right. I don't think that he has enough power to get it out. Justice is back. He's got it. Justice makes all the putouts in this half inning. The Dodgers get 1 on a Scioscia home run and lead 1-0. Braves coming up to face Tim Belcher. All right, again, I need to put some tape over the screen over here and not look at the outcome boxes because it's not going to be pretty. But let's go with it. Here we go. Lonnie Smith up first. Yay, Vizcaino makes a great play to take away a hit. I wonder how many times I'm going to need defenders to do that today. Tommy Gregg in the lineup. Grounds out to second. It's 2 outs. Here we go. Ron Gantz up first. It's a fly ball to center. Javier coming in, almost in the infield, makes the catch. So we're through 1. It's 1-0 on the Mike Scioscia home run. We go to the second. Mike Sharperson strikes out. Javier, it's a comebacker. Smoltz over to Greg. That's 2 down for Vizcaino. It's a ground ball to Blauser. The possible all-star starter throws out. Vizcaino, one shortstop takes care of another. And we're through 1.5. 1-0 Dodgers. Dave Justice hits one on the ground to Harris. It's going to be close. And he's out. 1 out. For Blauser. Comebacker to Belcher. Over to first. It's going to be close. 2 down. Treadway gets a base hit to left. That's over Vizcaino. Daniels picks it up. He's going to try for 2. No, he'll hold with a single. 2-out single for Treadway, and here's Greg Olson. In real life, the all-star catcher. I don't think that's going to happen. Belcher watches Olson hit one to left. Daniels coming in. Short left. So we're through 2. It's 1-0 Dodgers. Chris Gwynn starts us off in the third. The ground ball to Treadway. I'll bring up the pitcher, Belcher. Hitting 125. 4 hits, including a double. It bounced off the outfielder's head. I remember that play. He strikes out. 2 down for Eddie. And he pops it up. Treadway should have this one right around second base. He makes the catch. We're through 2.5. It's 1-0 Dodgers. Belcher walks Presley, who has a lot of power. So now we got to pay attention to a percentage over here. 30%. I don't think anything's going to happen there. Now, I would bring the infield in for a bunt here. But Smoltz hitting 241. I'm not going to do that. We're going to pitch to him. He bunts. And Eddie tags him out. Presley goes to second, so the bunt works. I was going to take a chance and let him hit it over my head. 1 out. Now he's gone through the lineup once. Here we go the second time against Lonnie Smith. Tying run at second, and he walks Smith. Now he's in big trouble, and you know who's on deck. 1 out. Belcher in a pickle here against Greg. Strikes him out. 2 outs for Gant. I got nowhere to put him, so I got to pitch to him. 3-run homer could happen right here. Slug of 681. Belcher gives up a lot of home runs. Even outpacing his horrible job in the real season. 17. He's given up 13. Wind blowing out. Winds are calm. Okay. Cross everything. Here we go. Hit the left field and deep. I don't see it coming down. Oh, it's starting to come down. And Daniels makes the catch. Okay. You can restart your heart now. We're through 3, a third of the way through the game. The Dodgers lead 1-0. There's Cal. He hits one deep. There's some carry, and that one's gone. 2 solo shots, and the Dodgers lead 2-0 on home runs by Scioscia and now Cal Daniels. Would have liked to have somebody on base for those, but I think that's why Smoltz is good. He limits the damage, even though he does give up home runs. Let's see how many home runs he's given up this season. 7. Including 2 in this game. Next up is Scioscia, who tagged him earlier, and that looks like a base hit to center. It falls in. Scioscia on first with nobody out for Harris. This is where the Dodgers have to get hits from this middle part of the lineup. Scioscia not going anywhere. Harris strikes out. Next up, Sharperson, who struck out previously, hits a ground ball. Could this be 2? Blauser. Nope, just going for this short side to get Sharperson at first. He does. 2 outs. Scioscia moves to second for Javier. And he strikes him out. So we're through 3.5. The Dodgers get a run, though, on a Cal Daniels solo shot and lead 2-0. Belcher against Justice. Fly ball to center. Javier coming in. Again, almost in the infield, makes the catch. One down for Blauser. Ground ball to Vizcaino. Long throw across to Murray. It's going to be close. And he gets him. Infield playing well so far. I know. I shouldn't have said it. Here's Treadway, who has a single. First at bat, he walks. Belcher, how many walks now? 3. That's not good. Treadway, no chance of running here. See if you can get Olsen out. He flies to Javier. This should be easy catch. Out center. He's got it. We're through 4. It's 2-0 Dodgers. Belcher pitching better than I thought he would have. Vizcaino with a ground ball to Treadway. That should be one out. Gwynn with a ground ball. Is that going to be fair? It looks fair. To Greg. He has to underhand to Smoltz and to get him 2 outs. I can hit for Belcher right here, but he's pitching well. I got no problems here. Keep going for now. It's a ground ball to Presley. He's up with it. Long toss to first, and that'll end the half inning. The Dodgers go quietly. We're through 4.5. It's 2-0 Dodgers. Presley greets Belcher with a single to left, and this could be the end. Here's Smoltz again. Expecting, I'm not going to come in. No way. When he's hitting that well, he bunts foul. That looks foul. Murray, yeah, it's foul. 2 strikes. Throw to second. He's running? And that was not my fault. I didn't check his percentage. 53. Socha guns him out anyhow. Wow. So the inning takes on a different complexion there. My fault that I didn't check this percentage. It went up to 53, and they thought that was good enough to try. Well, it wasn't. So now Smoltz probably going to be swinging here. Let's see if we can just get him out normally. So fly ball to right. Gwynn coming in. Can almost give Eddie Murray a high five. Makes the catch. All right, 2 outs for Smith. Here's just the 3rd time through the lineup, and I'm starting to get scared here. Let's see what Belcher can do. And there's a base hit by Smith. And he's on at first with 2 outs. I'd like to get him to win, but I don't care about that. What I care about is winning the game. And it's only 2-0. So this is probably his last batter. Greg with the home runs, 1. Okay, 24% we're going to pitch. And it's popped up. This should get Belcher through the half inning. And then we're going to have to start looking at the bullpen. Nice job. All right, we're through 5. 2-0 Dodgers. Here's Eddie. It's a liner to Treadway. He's 0 for 3. Daniels. He's got a solo shot. He strikes out. 5th strikeout for Smoltz. Here's Socha, who's been on base twice. He fouls it off. It's a ground ball to Treadway. Looks like Smoltz has got through this. To the bottom of the 6th. The wind's still calm, 83 degrees. It's kind of warm. It's 2-0 Dodgers. All right. Gant, again, gigantic numbers. Let's see. Does anybody have better numbers against? Especially the 2 guys I was talking about earlier. Tim Cruz, 890. That's better. Not great. John Wetland, 967. They're both better, but not great. Give up a home run here, and it's 2-1. I mean, I can't really pay attention to the OPS. It's been high the whole time. 305 versus a 267. We're going to give him one more chance here. I can regret it. He's on a precarious rope. He strikes him out. Okay, he earns another batter. Here's Justice. Again, we're not going to look over there. It's a fly ball to right. That might be gone. Gwynn's inching in, though. He's got it. Wow. Belcher survives Murderer's Row there. And he gets to face Blauser. And he gets a base hit. And that's it for him. We're not going to go any further. Take a chance. Treadway's been on twice. So we're going to go to the pin right now. Good job, Tim. He can't lose it. He could win it or have nothing to do with it. Okay, who can he face? A right-hander. Do you want to go to Cruz here? Or do you want to go to Wet? Yeah, it looks like Cruz is the better choice. And that's who we'll bring in. All right, Tim, can you get me out of this jam? Blauser at 25%. We're going to pitch. Here we go. He strikes him out. All right, we're through 6, 2/3 of the game completed, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Cruz with a nice job of getting them out of that half inning. So Belcher's final. Let's see if we can see the box score for Belcher. Oh, there we go. I can't even see the pitching. Okay. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 Ks. Not great. I mean, it's kind of jumbled mess, but no runs. So that part's great. Game score 60, which is pretty close to Smoltz, who's given up 2 earned runs in 6 innings. So, okay, to the 7th. I'm going to start mapping this out. I don't think Cruz is going to go the rest of the way, but he might be able to go for a little bit longer. All right, 9 outs from a win. Here's Harris. He gets hit. Let's hope he's okay. He's already been out injured for a while. 65%. For Sharperson, who can bunt, but I like him hitting here. We're not going to do anything. We're going to take him on. And he walks, even though he had struck out twice, I think, versus Smoltz. He gets on. So we got first and second. Nobody out. And here's Javier. Smoltz near? No, Smoltz is fine. Okay. We're not going to try anything weird like a double steal. We're going to let Javier hit. He pops it up. In the center field, Gant should have a hold on that one. That's 1 down. He's got a 4-arm. Can he tag? Thinking about who's up next, and it's the bottom of the lineup, so we're going to try it. We're not going to try for second. Here comes the throw to third. Oh, it's going to be close. He's safe. Lenny beats it out. Those are not normal chances that I usually take, but 2-0, I'd like an insurance run at least. All right, Jose Vizcaino just needs to make contact here and get a run in. We're not going to send Sharperson because that would be 2 outs. So I need Vizcaino to make contact here. Can he do it against Smoltz? Here we go. First throw over. Please don't get picked off. Oh, okay. Come on, Jose. Base hit? That's better than contact. Hits it into the gap. Can Sharperson score from here? Vizcaino safe at second. Sharperson held at third. All right, and there's 1 out still. All right. I'm still, this is it. It's up to Chris Glenn right here because Cruz is going to get the hit. I mean, unless there's a base hit. Okay, let's find out what happens. He's up in this situation. He has good numbers, 344, 395, 522, 916. I'll take a fly ball and a 4-0 lead. Can I get that from Glenn? And they walk him, of course. Darn it. Tim Cruz on the season has 17 at-bats and no hits. So he's going to strike out here. But Murray's on deck, and he's 0 for 3, so I'm still going to take my chances here. Cruz, you can get the hit. Go for it. Don't hit into a double play. He strikes out. Okay. So it comes down to Murray. Bases loaded. He's good in big situations. 352, 550, 540, 1090. I need a big hit right here and open this game up. Come on, Eddie. They're leaving Smoltz in. And he hits a ground ball to third. Presley's got it. Over to first. It's going to be close. He's out. Oh, so we leave the bases loaded. Oh, that hurts. But it still score a run and lead 3-0. All right, Tim, I left you in for a purpose. Let's see if you can keep it going. 9 outs from a win against Olson. Ground ball to Sharperson. Over to first. 1 out. 8 outs from a win. There's Presley, who has a hit in his only at bat. Has he walked twice? He's walked. Okay. Good numbers here. Let's see what Cruz can do. Popped up. Oh dear. He hit home runs against us at home, and he's hit another one. That is out of here. Oh, is it off the wall? It's off the wall. Okay, we'll take that. It's a double. Okay, a 1-out double for Presley, and Smoltz is up, and I would think they'd pull Smoltz here and do a pinch hitter, but we'll see. Nope, he strikes out. Wow. Okay, 2 outs. And here's Smith. This is a big out to get. Leading 3-0. 7 outs from a win. Those are decent numbers against Smith. Let's see. Smith, about even. I wouldn't say either one. That's really great. I can go to Wetland here, but that's worse. Gott's available. He's worse. So we're going to stick with Cruz here. See if we can get him out. Smith had some big home runs against the Dodgers in LA. He has 6. He only had 9 in the real season. Cruz has given up home runs, but it would still only be 3-2. Here we go. And he grounds it to Murray. Eddie's one of the best fielders on his team, and he gets them, and they get out of it. Cruz, good job. We're through 7 innings. It's still 3-0 Dodgers. All right, left the bases loaded. Okay, gotta let it go. Still winning. Daniel's up there. He strikes out against Smoltz. I don't know if leaving Smoltz in was the right call. Down 3-0. All right, Sosha walks with 1 out. Here's Harris. That's good numbers here. And he rips one into right field. Let's see if Sosha can try for third. I don't know. Justice has an 8 arm. Nope, he'll hold. First and second, 1 out for Sharperson. Probably his last at bat. We might go to Sam Well after this to play defense. He hits one to first. They're going to try to get 2. Blauser, nope. They just get the 1. Get Harris at second. There's 2 outs, and Javier again with another chance for a big hit here. 338, 550, 436, 986. Smoltz at 113 pitches out of 135. Big hit here to get an insurance run. Come on, Stan. He walked. So they're loaded for Vizcaíno again, who had a big hit last time. I just needed some contact. Can he do it against Smoltz here? Bases loaded in the second half inning in a row. Can they get a run across? And Vizcaíno comes through with a base hit. In scores Sosha. That's 4. See if Sharperson's going to try his arm. There's an 84% chance. On deck is Gwynn. No, I'm going to hold them. 84 is a pretty good chance, but I'm not taking it. All right, Chris, this is the way we play the game. Can you get a big hit here? Bases loaded again. It's 4-0 Dodgers against Smoltz. And he gets a base hit to right field. Sharperson scores. Can Javier score on Justice's arm? Let's see. He does. And that should do it. We're up 6-0 with 3 in the 8th. Nice clutch hitting by Vizcaíno and Gwynn. You got to give credit to Javier with the walk, Sharperson and Harris getting on base. Sosha started it off with a walk, I believe. Or did he get a single? I don't know. This inning, a lot's happened. This is how the lineup is supposed to work. All right, 2 outs, and Cruz can get pulled here. You want to do that? You just want to leave him in and let him pitch. Pitching well, so let's give up 6 runs should be enough. And he strikes out again. Cruz getting 2 at-bats in this game. Stuff you didn't think was going to happen. All right, Cruz is probably going to be down the next game. So we're going to let him try to finish this, see if he can get 6 outs here. Greg with the base hit. The game's not over. You still need 6 outs. Here come the big boys. Here's Gant. It's one in the air. Daniel's coming in, so it looks playable. That's one out. I had forgotten to do Sharperson here. So Mike's going to come out. He's just not good at fielding. He'll go in his spot. We're also going to pull Chris Gwynn. Sorry, I apologize. I'm hitting every button except for the correct one. Jose Gonzalez will go in Gwynn's spot. And he'll play center field, and that'll move Javier over to right field. Okay, that's good for now. Daniel still has a chance to hit in the ninth. And I'm not that secure yet. One out, we still got to get through 5 more outs. Alright, I just want the best defense I can possibly find here. Justice, it's a liner to Sam Well. Nice catch. That's 2 outs. 4 outs from a win against Blauser now. It's a ground ball to Harris. See if he can make the long throw to Murray. Looks like they got him. We're through 8. 6-0 Dodgers. Looking for a 12th win in a row. Eddie Murray's up there. He strikes out, of course. There's Daniels. He has a solo shot in the game, but this time it's a ground ball to Treadway. Over to Greg. 2 outs for Scioscia. He'll probably get replaced after this at bat. I don't want to get hurt. It's a ground ball to Treadway. And I let the big boys come up one more time. They don't do anything. So that's it. Let's get some of these boys out of here. Let's bring in Hubie. You know, he's not very good. There's no chance of Daniels getting injured with him in the lineup. This is another instance when you're not doing as played that you still got to think about is you got to get these guys out of here. And we'll put Javier in left. This is the only position that Brooks can play. Okay, and then Scioscia will be replaced by Rick Dempsey. In the number 3 spot to catch. I'd love to get Eddie out of here, and I probably could have, but I like Samuel at second so much. And I've used everybody else, so sorry, Eddie, don't get hurt. If you're playing as played, you know these guys are not going to get hurt. You can leave them in as long as you want to, with no fear of them getting hurt. You know, again, maybe like a the rest of the game type injury, or the temporary, which is like not even a play injury, which is a joke. These guys are important to the team, even though Eddie's gone 0 for 5 today. Probably the best player on the team. All right, Cruz cruising along, needs to get 3 outs for the win. There's Treadway, he hits one to right. Is that gone? That looks gone. It doesn't curl back. It is. And the Braves finally get a run. I thought Presley's hit was going to be a home run. It was off the wall. So this won't be a shutout, a combined shutout. Cruz gives up the solo shot to Treadway. It's 6-1. You know, afford that when you're ahead by that much. That's his 7th home run of the season, 342 feet. All right, Olson up next. Cruz might need help here. Olson gets a base hit. This game is not over. I do not want to face those guys at the top, number 3 and number 4 spot. Let's just say that. Poor play by Harris. There's still nobody out. So we got to get some outs here. Pronto. We're going to give Cruz one more batter, and then I got to go to the pen. Strikes out Presley. Okay, that's 1 out. We're 2 outs from a win. Smoltz will get hit for here, right? Ernie Witt. Not great numbers. How's he hitting against righties versus lefties? It's about the same. Oh, way more power. But one home run. Okay, Cruz, you get another chance. He walks him. Okay, that's it. We're going to have to get somebody up here. Smith, Greg. I do not want to see Gant. I do not want to see Justice. All right, so Lonnie Smith. Who can pitch better here? Plenty of guys to choose from. Can we pick the right one? Smith is a right-handed batter. And he's worse against right-handers. I'm not afraid of any of these guys on the bench. 10 years ago, I would have been afraid of Dale Murphy. I would be afraid of Eddie Murphy, too, probably. Hartley's down. Wetland, not great. Jim Gott's available. Don't feel great about Jim Gott, but let's see what he can do. Okay, still got to hang on. Only up 6-1. There's a liner. Harris makes the catch. That's 2 outs. 1 out from a win. And he makes a great play after he makes a poor play in the same half inning. Tommy Gregg up next. Let's see if I need to go to a lefty here. Gregg. Horrible against lefties. Terrible against lefties. We're going to Sirich here. Sirich has closed out some games. And I know after I use him here, I will not be able to use him probably for 2 days. But I want this last out. I want this win. I don't want to see Ron Gant or David Justice one more time. Okay, 2 on, 2 out. Good number. Should be able to finish it off right here. Right? Throws it away. I don't care about that part. Just get this guy out. It's a wild pitch. Okay, 1-2 pitch. Just needs a strike here. Come on. Fly ball to the left. Right, excuse me. Brooks coming in. He should have this. Closes his glove on it, and the Dodgers close their glove on a 12th straight win. Almost a shutout. Limit the damage from this tough Braves lineup and win 6-1, upping the record to 43-28. And now, I believe we have a 1.5 lead over the Giants in the National League West. So, a couple solo shots from Mike Scioscia and Cal Daniels. A big 3-run 8th inning to try to break it open, kind of break it open there. 8 batters to the plate. That's how we win games. They probably should have pulled Smoltz in the 7th. Vizcaino singles. Chris Gwynn with a big hit. Both those guys with a big hit scoring. 1 run there and 2 runs on the Chris Gwynn single. They get a solo shot in the 9th, and they get a couple base runners, but Tim Belcher pitched a great 5 2/3 innings for the win. He was okay. For taking on those 2 guys, he pitched great around them. Smoltz went the distance, but he took the loss. 6 earned runs. So, I mean, that's not really fair. He probably should have been pulled earlier. I'm not the computer, and I'm not worried about it. Daniels with the hit. Scioscia with the home run as well. Both of them. Harris with the hit. Let's go back to that 8th inning. That broke it open for the Dodgers. Daniels struck out. Scioscia walks. Harris grounds a single, but Scioscia only moves to second. Sharperson hits into a forced play, so there's runners at the corners. 2 outs. Javier walks to load the bases. They probably should have pulled him right there. Vizcaino comes up, so only supposed to be able to hit lefties, and he gets the base hit. Scioscia scores. We hold Sharperson. We could have chanced it. I think it was 70 or 80% chance. And we trust Gwynn. That's what we do in this lineup, is we trust the players to get the hits. And Gwynn gets a single. She's just not even hitting the Mendoza line. But he comes through, and it scores 2 more, and that pretty much opens it up. for the win. So I can't say, I mean, that's just pushing. I don't know what their bullpen was like. I don't know why they chose to have him keep pitching, but that's poor managing, I think. He was cooked by that time. He needed to come out and let somebody else pitch. Although they did use Hesketh for 3 innings yesterday. So I don't know what that situation is. And personally, I don't care. I'm not managing that team. The Dodgers have 43 wins and 28 losses, and they have 12 wins in a row. At our low point, we've lost 5 in a row, but at the low point, we were 3 games over 500. We're now 15 games over 500. All right, this has been a long video. I really appreciate you watching it till the end. I'm thrilled with the 12-game winning streak. Still not a perfect team, but been pushing the right buttons lately, and that's all that matters. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Missed It by How Much.